Ever wish you had someone to tell you the truth about what it takes to run a successful business and live a fulfilling life? Well, amiguita, you've come to the right place. So grab your favorite cafecito or cocktail, your courage, and let's get to work. I'm Jenna Borges, a therapist, business strategist, mindset coach for entrepreneurs, and a feisty Latina from Miami. And I'm determined to teach you the exact tools you need to stop settling and start kicking some serious derriere. What do you say? Are you in? Then let's get started. Welcome to Latinas Empowering Latinas podcast. Today, I want to challenge you and ask you a really deep question. And I'm going to call BS to the mental things you have in your head when you come up with excuses. And my question is, how would you show up if you knew you couldn't fail? How would the version of you that you want to be in 10 years, in 5 years, in a year, how would that person decide? How would that person choose to show up? Would that person think twice or would they go for it? I know it's deep, right? But it's true. I have permission today to share a story about someone I know. Her name is Lissette. She happens to be my hairstylist, and I will link her in the show notes. Lissette is phenomenal. She is a phenomenal human being. She has a huge heart. I met her, I want to say about 5 years ago. I walked into Nordstrom and she is a MAC makeup specialist. And MAC is my favorite makeup ever. She was so talented. And at one point, because I have no shame, I asked her, why are you not on your own? Why are you working for Nordstrom? You're phenomenal. And, we talked a little bit and she says, well, I do weddings. I do 15s. I do people come here to do their makeup. And I'm fine with that. I'm a manager here and I love what I do. And every time I would go back to her, I would ask her the same question. Well, 2020 happens and the store she was working at completely shut down, not temporarily, permanently, and she lost her job. And it was at that moment that the question I had been asking her forever happened. She had no choice but to go out on her own. She didn't completely go on her own. She found a place, she found a salon, she found an owner, and she started working with them. So she split her earnings with them. And if you know me, I'm a huge fan of not sharing your income with anybody. If you're growing your own business, you grow your own business. Yes, you can delegate. Yes, you can ask for help. Yes, you invest in yourself and your business and coaches, but you don't give away part of your salary. That's why I'm a big proponent of private practice, of not going with insurance panels. It's a loaded conversation. But even in this situation, if you're working for someone else, you're helping to build somebody else's dream. You're helping to build somebody else's business. You're putting all this energy, and boy, oh boy, did she put energy into this other business. You could be building your own. But it was a step. It was a huge step. And I was so proud of her and I was so excited for her. And I looked at her because, of course, I would go back to her wherever she was and I follow her anywhere. And I said, I'm so excited for you that you have your own space in the world, that you are your own boss, that you're doing your hair and makeup. And guess what? It turns out, which I didn't know, she loves doing hair more than she loves doing makeup. Every 3 weeks, Lissette is my savior because in my family lineage, we gray very early. I had my first gray at 17. I found my daughter's first gray at 18 months. It's crazy. So I have a full on head, not a little patch, not a few sprinkles of gray. And it ages me incredibly. So every 3 weeks at 8:15, Lissette and I are together. This Wednesday, when I was getting my hair done, another conversation came up. Oh, I skipped a step. I'm sorry. So of course, I always want more for the people that I love and that I see, and whether or not they're my clients, I take them under my wing. So I'm sitting at this other person's salon with Lissette, back up about a year ago and I said, okay, Lissette, you took this huge step. You're doing amazing. Your calendar's full. You're building somebody else's business. When are you going to go out on your own? Like, I want this for you so bad. You can do it. Look at this. You're running this by yourself. Like, she's answering calls. She's scheduling. She's doing hair. She's doing things she shouldn't be doing. She's essentially running somebody else's business. And I said, but why not do this on your own? And again, fear always creeps in, and I get it. I do have to be a little honest that I'm the type of person that kind of looks at fear sometimes and I'm like, I'll figure it out. Very rarely does fear freeze me. And I know that that is a gift and a curse because there's very little that I'm scared of, especially when it comes to business. I don't mind taking risks. I feel like if you don't take risks, you don't grow. But not everybody's like that. And I understand that. And a lot of the people that I coach are not like that. And I understand that. And I try to honor that space, even in therapy with my clients. But I always challenge and I always push because to me, if you don't push past the place that you're comfortable in, you're never going to grow. Same conversation with Lissette over and over again. Squeaky wheel, that's me. The annoying friend who keeps telling you the same thing, that's me. But I do it with love. Eventually what happens is things just get very complicated at the salon where she is for a lot of different reasons. And Lissette finds her very own space, a little room. That's all she needs. They have like suites where we are. They have they're like salon suites. They all have different names, different brands. So she takes this huge step and I am so excited for her. Like, we went from, I met you in Nordstrom. You couldn't, wrap your mind about, you were so comfortable. And this is the thing. And I love you, Lissette. This is for you. She gets so comfortable. And a lot of people get so comfortable in having stability, having safety, having security, having insurance, having a location. And I understand to some degree because that is not completely me. I'm the opposite, right? Like I want more. I don't want a boss. I want to be in charge of myself. I can't fathom ever working for anybody else ever again in my life. And Lissette gets her space. Here's how we come back to this Wednesday. We're in her space and she had told me, and I'm super proud of her. She had told me that when she found this space, she just wanted to get into the suites, which I completely understand. But she had been promised that as soon as a space in the front of the building where she wanted to be was available, it has like better lighting, better positioning. It's a more trafficked kind of hallway. She would get it. Well, this Wednesday, Lissette told me for a third time, she had been passed over for the space that she wanted. Third time. And this just me sube, me baja. Like, if you want to get a Cuban going, just tell them that somebody's been mistreated in some way or overlooked in some way. And if that is not fuel to light me on fire, I said, Lissette, you've been in the space. You've been promised one in the front. It's not fair. You keep getting passed over. Why don't you leave the battle behind and go out on your own? Like, find your own space. And I said, let's crunch numbers because everything is based in fear. Well, I said, I know it's a lot of money. I know it's a lot of money. I know getting your own salon, like a full-on salon, is expensive. It's rent, it's lease, it's overhead, it's electric, it's air. Tell me, what are your fears? What's stopping you? Well, I don't know. Because it's fear. And I asked her this question, and I want you to listen to this. If I lost you, please come back to me. If you would be guaranteed that everything would be well and that you had exactly what you wanted, if that version of you in a year would see you in this position now, what would you choose? What would you do? And she kind of looked at me and I said, okay, I have one better. If this version of you standing in this room right now, in your own space, in your own business, came across the Lissette at Mac, working for Nordstrom, doing makeup and hair for somebody else, getting paid a flat check, and being around people that were unkind to you, and you saw her, what would you tell her about getting your own business? And she said, I'd tell her to get the hell out. I said, okay, now I need you to imagine this person that you want to become, this business owner, the salon owner of your own salon. You have your own business, but I know your dream is to have your own salon. Imagine that version of you there in this space that you love, that you cultivated, that you created, that you're doing this amazing work, and you finally have your own space. What would you tell this Lissette? And I tell her to get the hell out and go. What's she waiting for? I said, okay, so get on your phone and start looking for some property. I know this is not realistic for everybody, and I know everybody's circumstances are different. The point of this conversation today is to let you know that if something doesn't feel good, then get out. If something feels unfair, then get out. If you're scared, think about what you're scared about without BSing yourself. What are you scared of? Is it finances? Is it failing? Does it feel overwhelming? Is it money? Crunch numbers. Look at the reality. Lissette was giving 50% of everything she earned to this other business owner before. So I said, Lissette, how much extra are you earning now? And we crunched numbers. I said, okay, so what you're telling me is that you have more than enough money to get your own space now, and you'll have money left over. And her first hesitation, which I respect, was like, no, Janessa, no, that'll cover the space, but that doesn't cover electricity or water or the additional add-ons. It doesn't cover inventory. I said, okay, let's go through that. I said, first of all, we know you're in a position, because I know a little bit of some stuff. She has a little bit of a cushion to fall back on that she's been saving. So I said, worst case scenario, while you're figuring it out, right? Let's say the space is going to be a little bit expensive and you need to adjust to that. That's fine. Find another hairstylist that is just starting out, that is good, that you've vetted, that you've interviewed. And guess what? You become her plugged in referral source. What new hairstylist that wants to go on their own? What version of you a year ago wouldn't have loved to have referrals? Hey, I'm not available. I'm busy, but fulanita de tal next to me, she's available and she's fabulous. Find someone else that does aligned business services, right? So she's a hairstylist. So you can find somebody that does nails or does waxing or does brows or does come up with anything in that same field. It's a one-stop shop. While you're getting comfortable taking on something that is bigger than you're comfortable with, give yourself time to adjust, come up with alternatives. But please don't say no to yourself because you're too scared, because guess what? You'll be in the same place you are right now in a year. If you're looking for a fabulous hairstylist, she's a balayage expert and color expert, and she's just a good human being with a huge heart. I will add her information to the show notes. Make sure you follow her. But here's my question for you. Here are my final notes. Have you not moved on because you're scared? Have you not moved on because you're comfortable? And if the answer to either of those are yes, then I need you to reevaluate if what you are doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be. Or are you busy building someone else's business? On that note, I'm going to put some resources for you, Lissette's information in the show notes. Go to janessaborges.com/32 for episode 32. I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's always such an honor to speak to you. If you loved today's episode, I would love and be so grateful if you left a review. So let me know what was your greatest takeaway, any aha moments, and how you were inspired. I'd love to give you a shout out in a future episode. Until next time, Maminita.